In this video, this whiteboard, we're going to be talking about change in identity. Right now, I'm going through that. I just talked about what people are going to be going through a lot right now. There's going to be with AI, with technology, with automation, with robotics, with everything that's coming down the line, whether it's this year or next year, whether it's job replacement, whether it's even just the job is going away in general, it's never even coming back. There's going to be a lot of people where they question their identity. And I don't mean in a metaphysical or philosophical way. I mean, they grew up and they were a programmer. They were in marketing. They were in sales. They were in HR. And now that job is no longer available. That job is no longer here. And now they have to become something else. And they don't know what to become. And what this video is going to be, I know it says whiteboard, but a lot of this is actually going to be more of a me going through what I have to do to actually change my own identity. When I was first starting out after college, it took me a little bit longer to graduate, but essentially when I came out of college, I was going into finance. My brother was in finance. My dad was an accountant. I knew a lot of people in finance. My best friends were in finance. So I said, all right, I guess I'll become in finance. New York City's known as finance. So I joined Oppenheimer Funds. And essentially, Oppenheimer Funds was a good stepping stone out of college. I was getting paid consistently. I was living in an area that was young. It was hip. It was fun. And I said, you know what? It's a good thing to not be in rugby and in a fraternity anymore. But ironically enough, leading up to that, as I just said, my identity, rugby, and I was in a fraternity. I was in a frat. These two things were in college. And then when I moved to New York City, my identity was not that anymore. All the people that I knew, all the friends that I knew, say a lot of the girls that I knew were dating older guys. They dated guys that were not college 21, 22-year-olds living in New York City. They were dating guys that were in finance that were 27, 28 years old, that had houses out in the Hamptons and Montauk. I couldn't afford that. So my identity was, oh, wow, I'm 22, 23. My identity is not rugby and a fraternity anymore. It's now finance, but I'm also 22, 23. I'm not making a lot of money at all. So where do I fit in this realm? I'm not the cool guy anymore that's in college. I'm a 22, 23-year-old in finance, not making a lot of money. My identity was shattered. And overnight, I had to say, okay, I'm not this guy who's going out anymore, who knows where to go out. Now it's about money, value, status, fame. And I go, well, that's going to take me a while to at least 27. What am I going to do in between these years? So I said, all right, I'm just going to remain in finance. In 2008, we all know what happens. 2008, it hit a little bit later for us in New York City. It went down. The housing market went down. The banks went down. The cars went down. In other words, everybody needed to be bailed out. So I said in that time, I said, I don't really like this anymore. So from 2007 to 2008, 2009, it was actually, I think right around March, I left. And I said, I don't know what my identity is. It used to be college fraternity. It used to be finance, but I'm not finding it's good here. I'm not finding that it's good here. It's now March 2009. And I go, I don't know what I'm going to do. I have no idea what to do. It's just my identity is not this anymore. It's not finance. It's not waking up and clocking in. It's going to be real estate. Everybody is going to question you. Everybody is going to question you. They're going to say, you used to be the guy that drank. You're not drinking. You used to be the guy that was lazy with me. You used to be the guy that used to play video games. Now you're not doing that anymore. What's going on? Why is your identity changing? That's crazy. And I said, well, I used to be a finance guy, but now I have to actually make my own money. I actually have to become a solopreneur. I actually have to become a sales guy. I sort of did sales with Cutco and everything else, but now I actually have to be a permanent sales guy. I have to be always on. I have to dress well. I have to be smiling. I have to make sure that people are happy and excited that I'm someone that's customer service, where if anything happens, I can figure it out. And the biggest thing is, what I noticed is that my identity started to shift into an area that was making me uncomfortable. And that's the thing, is you're really going to go through 4 phases when you tell someone that your identity is changing. And your identity, again, it could be your job, but right now I'm going through another identity where I'm 5 days sober. Okay. Alcoholism or alcohol used to be my identity. I haven't gone to the gym. I need to go to the gym. So my identity is now changing, where I am now going from lazy to going to the gym. I used to be a triathlete, then I became not a triathlete, and now I have to become a triathlete again. This is the same thing with players that were huge stars in college and then they don't get picked up, or they get picked up and then they fail. They used to be a huge college football star. They were then drafted number 10 or 20. In other words, they were drafted first round, and then they flopped, and now their identity shattered. And that's the exact same thing that I had up here before. You used to be the person that was in HR. I was in marketing. I was in, content creation. I'm not saying me, but I mean you yourself. Anytime you have an identity change, you're going to go through other people are going to go through three steps. First, they're going to question it. What do you mean you're not drinking anymore? What do you mean you're not at Oppenheimer Funds? You're becoming a real estate agent? Nobody know. We don't know any real estate agents. None of your friends are buying. You're 23. Nobody knows. How are you going to get business? This is what was questioned when I was actually, and it's a fair question, by the way. Not only will your friends and your family question you, your closest friends, your friends of friends, and you're kind of unsure because you're saying, well, yeah, I'm sort of, you're hesitant about it. You're hesitant about it. First, they'll not like it. Then they will accept it. Okay, yeah, you're a real estate agent. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we understand. Yeah. No, you're a real estate agent. As long as you can, here's time, as long as you continue. And this is, say, whatever you're changing, your identity. Oh, okay. You know what? I don't think you're the guy that goes to the gym or the person that lost weight, or the person that's actually eating healthy, or the person that's actually running every single day at 6 a.m. Your identity is not that. I don't know you as that. You're this cheerful person now. What is this? This is an identity I'm uncomfortable with. In other words, your friends, your family, your closest friends, your colleagues, everyone that knows you, your social circle, even social media will start calling you out and say, listen, dude, let's get back in. You're here. You're exiting your identity. Okay. Let's get you back in here. That's what they're going to say. They're going to be like, I don't like this area. Get back in here. Get back in here. Scandinavia has this. Australia has this. And they call it the tall poppy syndrome. Everyone is here. And then you have one that stands out. They want to cut you off. And then they want to bring you back down to where everyone else is. Tall poppy syndrome. That's what's going to happen. Then they're not going to like it. They may become mad. They are just not going to be happy. They're just going to be unhappy because you're either succeeding or you're not changing your identity back to what you were. This is huge. I'm going to go through this. I used to be, and I'm going to go through my whole, then in 2014, I said, well, actually it was really around 2013, I started to question my identity at my real estate firm. And I said, you know what? I'm going to start my own brokerage. I'm going to become my own broker owner. That's when people started piling. You're not going to be good. You're not good enough. It's not well. It's expensive. How are you going to do it? How are you going to get business? Where's your office space? Where's your video? How are you going to afford this? What about websites? What about CRMs? What about email lists? What about owners? How are you going to handle objections? Owners don't like small companies. Everything is going to come down to when you really start to push time and you really start. And they will get, no. You are not the person that doesn't come out on Friday nights and get drunk. And you stay in because you're going to wake up early and you're going to run on Saturday. No. Get back. Let's go. Let's get back. You're the person that gets drunk. You're the person that gets drunk. You're not the person that's sober and going through life happy. Your identity is now your personality. Your identity becomes your personal reality, as Joe Dispenza says. 2014, I am now going pretty hard in the paint when it comes to Boatenston Properties International. I'm going pretty hard in the paint. I'm making videos, my social media, I'm going live, I'm editing videos, I'm making sales calls, I'm calling expireds. Expireds are people that put their home on the market with another agent and then they couldn't sell it. We were texting, we were emailing, we're calling. We're just hustling, to say the least. 2020 rolls around. Everyone knows what happens. That's when I first picked up my little booze can right there. First booze can right there. My father passed away in 2019, end of 2019. Booze can gets picked up 2019, all the way to about 2025 for me. And now, because my identity, myself, I did this on myself, and put yourself in your own shoes, because we're all going to have a change of identity in the next 5 years because of AI. Okay. And for me, it's going to be a positive identity change. Okay. What I've been building with AI is something I've dreamed of since 12 or 13, when I first started to put my hands on a keyboard to build a website, to build something that I wanted. Okay. Solopreneurship is no easier than right now. At no other time can it be as less expensive to start your own company or to vibe code any app, which I've done, or website, which I've done, or community, which I've done, CRM, which I've done, email list, which I've done, to go live and talk about this, to market this. Marketing is free. This video is free. I have to pay for the camera, I have to pay for the microphone, but my identity is now in two spots, I should say. And I'll get to the fourth area and I'll talk about 2025. 2025 was a pivotal year where I found Claude Code. I found code and I said, what is this thing? What is this thing? And by the way, the reason I'm talking about myself is because 2026 is rolling around and my identity in 2026, it's now June 2026, pretty much end of June. So really it's July 2026, is that I had three areas that I needed to change. I needed to become sober. I needed to go to the gym. I needed to vibe code or code. And I needed to be, number one word out of anything else is you got to be consistent. You got to be as consistent as possible. So all of this combined gives you the big momentum. The big mo goes up. The big mo is everything. Momentum is everything. I had a lot of people that were tuning in, hundreds of people that were tuning in after I went live. YouTube loved it. I was consistent. I was going live 5 days a week. This same time, I did the same thing. More people would come in. I had 18 viewers, then 20 viewers, then 9 viewers, 10 viewers. And then I dropped off for a week and then boom, everything collapsed. My momentum went down. And it's the same thing with your identity. If your momentum and you come back in here, if your momentum and you come back from, oh, no, we don't like it over here. And you come back and you go into your identity, not your new identity, but your old identity, people are going to go right back to zero, which is we're happy. We're happy that you went from your new identity. Oh yeah, no, that was funny that you're actually going to go into a real estate brokerage. Oh, that was funny that you're actually going to start your own brokerage. Oh, that was funny that you actually did start your own brokerage. Then they're going to do something that you didn't even expect. They're going to celebrate. If you can actually go from 1 to 4, if you can go from, oh my gosh, I'm in college, I can't believe it. Well, now you graduated college and New York City is full of very rich, funny, goofy, and unbelievably talented men that you are invisible to women. Now you go into finance and you go, wow, okay, I got some footing here. Actually, I don't like being the 9 to 5. Okay, real estate. And you're kind of just going around and you're an amoeba and you're sort of a solopreneur. And then you come over here and then you go, you know what? Let's get into real estate. Let's get my own brokerage. Then 2020, and then you get the booze can. And then you reset. I reset to zero. So nobody questions me. Nobody can accept me. Nobody can get mad or be unhappy. And nobody can celebrate me. So now in 2025, I find Claude Code 2026. So now that's about 6-7 months later, June, call it July. I have to change my entire identity again. I know this is the new identity. I know that sober is going to be my new identity. I know that gym is my new identity. Vibe coding is my new identity. Consistency is my new identity. And the reason being is because we need to change permanently my identity in other people's minds from a real estate guy to a vibe coder / solopreneur / coder or / content creator. And the reason being lowercase c, because this is marketing. People got to be like, okay, he's going to be talking about AI and this is the money. And you need both. You can't do money without the marketing. You can't do marketing without the money. And right now I'm doing neither. Where do you fit on this? Where is the identity that you need to change? The identity you need to change is clearly coming from an area that is negative. There is an area within your life that is negative. The 4 areas are really easy. Health. What about your weight? How's your weight? How's your mind? How's your sleep? How's the food intake? How's the drink intake? And I don't even mean just alcohol. I mean soda. This is, do you move? Do you go to the gym? How much do you walk? Everything. What's your mentality? Mental. Then you go into content. Are you content? Do you wake up excited? Do you wake up joyful? Do you wake up enthusiastic? Do you have energy? Are you down or not? And then you have relationships with your friends, your colleagues, your family. And then lastly, how's your money? And this isn't just your income right now. This is, what about in the future? What about your debt? What about your revolving credit lines. In other words, do you pay on a monthly basis a credit card that is an installment loan and you're paying it down like a house or a boat? Or do you continuously run up your bills and you can't pay it? And now your interest rate is very high. Do you have student loans? Things like that. So, what is negative about this area? Because when you are going to change your identity, you are going to get people that question you. What do you, what do you mean? You're not going to have soda? You're not going to have pizza with us today? We do that every Friday at work. Every Friday at work, we do this. Come on. No. Just start next Friday. You used to video game with us. You used to be lazy and watch this terrible reality show. Why? What changed? What changed? What do you mean you're changing into a new identity? No, go back. Your mentality is to be this person who loves to gamble and loves sports, somebody who doesn't go to the gym, someone who doesn't care about how they move, what they move, when they move, how often they move. That's where you belong, where I want you to be. And by the way, they're right, because that was your identity. And your identity, again, this is all about my life, okay? I am changing my identity into a vibe coder and everything else. So what does that mean? That means that my entire identity must become something different. Where does that start? Where does that start? That starts with social media, number one. Social media, number one. I'm not this guy anymore. I'm actually showing up and posting something positive. I'm showing up and actually showing the amount of times that I've walked this week. This is how many steps I did. I'm not that old person you know me as. I'm actually this new person, this change in identity. And by the way, today, you know what we're going to do? In everything is work. What is the work identity that you have? What is your work identity? Because in the world of AI, it is going to be changing a lot. And this is the year, 2026 is the year. This is the summer that you have to take advantage of it. This is the summer you're going to have to take advantage of it. Because if you miss this summer, it's you can still recover, obviously, because obviously the keyword, or I'm sorry, we're still in the beginning. We're obviously not here. That's probably 2030. I obviously put 2030 here a lot of times, but sometimes it could be over here. It depends on how fast this grows. I don't know. But do know when you're at work and you're going to become a solopreneur, you're going to start your own app, you're going to be at a startup, you're going to become someone who gets VC funding. Well, do know when this happens, people are going to question you. Then people are going to accept, not in a positive way, but they're just going to accept it. Oh, yeah, no, he's the guy that makes content and everything else. She's a gal that, yeah, she created that app, but, she's still, going out and she's still drinking and everything else. She's not going to the gym. Oh, she's not, doing all the consistent things. She's not changing her identity permanently. She's just that person. She's just that person. What does this mean for me? When I give my example, I don't mean selfishly, but when I say me, I mean, okay, if I'm changing my identity and I've changed it from college to finance to real estate to broker owner to now vibe coder, that's a lot of identity changes. That's very confusing to the audience. So what do I have to do? I got to be consistent. I got to make sure I market. I make sure that I am actually vibe coding every single day. I got to be the one that celebrates myself, the person that celebrates the wins because no one's here. Nobody even knows. Nobody knows except a small portion online. So when I look at this, I literally say there's going to be millions of people who are going to go through an identity crisis. It's going to be a crisis that we haven't seen in a while. And the problem is people are known as the person who's in the union, the person who's the carpenter, the person that's this, HR, marketing, law. I was a doctor. I was a nurse. I was this. They're going to go through an identity crisis and it's going to be bad. And everyone's going to say, you know what? I know it's the times. It's the AI times. No. Now is the time to change your identity proactively because this summer is going to be everything. So what area of here is it your money? Is it your relationships? Do you have to be content, not content, but content around something? What is your health like? Because this trickles down. This is the pinnacle. The pinnacle is what is your health? What is your health? Because if your health is not in order, almost nothing else can be. So for me, I had to become sober. And then weirdly, this week, and I'll make a video, 14 days sober, 21 days sober, 30 days sober. This week was the greatest breakthroughs I've had. I put out a app that is on my cell phone. I made a lot of things mobile friendly that were not mobile friendly. I set up boatenston.com. I ensured that the actual community is stabilized a lot more. I added in apps that people can download. I added in a unbelievable way that news can be ciphered from text into a video that's interesting that people can then scroll through like it's Instagram or TikTok. This was a big week. And the reason being is that was the number one thing. I literally said that for years, not 4 years, because it was 6 years, but FOR, 4 years. I was talking about the number one thing is holding me back right here was the booze, the alcohol percentage. It was in 2020 to 2025, all the way to July 2026. So over 6.5 years of struggling with my identity, and not in a metaphysical way. I mean, struggling with who am I in the public face. When I meet someone, how do I come across? And by the way, you're going to go through the same thing. I went to a party. This is the last thing I'll say on this. I went to a nice rooftop. There was a lot of wealthy people there. And they asked me, oh, what do you do? I didn't know anyone. What do you do? What do you do? What do you do? I build software through AI. I didn't know what to say. But weirdly, I was actually confident about it. It was the first time I publicly came out as not a real estate broker owner. It was the first time I actually came out and I was confident in saying, hey, listen, by the way, I code with AI. I don't know what their stance is with AI. I don't know what their stance is with coders. I don't know. Do I come out and say I'm a vibe coder or whatever? But before I was even accepting of myself and I was unhappy with what was actually happening while I was actually coding, I had to celebrate. And that was this week. This week is about celebration because once I can celebrate, and I'm not questioning, am I a vibe coder? Am I a real estate broker? Am I a triathlete? I haven't done a triathlon in 4 years. I don't know what to do. I don't know. What should I be? What should I be? I'm questioning myself. I accept myself. I get mad at myself. And then I celebrate this week and I go, wow, okay, you know what? I code and I'm doing a triathlon this September. I'm still very not as confident about the triathlon because I haven't been to the pool in a year. I haven't been on my bike in a year. I haven't ran in a year. So I'm a little hesitant about running in about 2 months, 2.5 months. Okay. Being in an Ironman, half Ironman in 2.5 months. Not going to lie. Okay. And I'm also, because I'm not making any money, about the vibe coding. So I'm a little hesitant about that. However, once I'm consistent about vibe coding and I go to the gym and I remain sober and I change my identity permanently, that's the win. That's the win. So then the question comes as a call to action to you. What is one area? Is it sleep? Is it relationships? Is it breaking up with someone, getting together with someone? Is it breaking off a business relationship, starting a business? Is it solopreneur? Is it joining a small business? Is it putting down the booze? Is it eating correctly? Is it fasting? Is it praying? What is it? What is the area in your life that's negative? Because an identity change is going to happen against our will. It's happening in real estate as I talk about this right now, and I noticed it. And I lost my passion about real estate, even though it's been 17 years. 17 years. I put in everything I could, most times, not all the time, but I put in 17 years of my life. Almost half of my life, half of my identity is in real estate. And now I'm not anymore. That's a wild change, but it's going to happen because of this. So you want to be on top of it. You want to come out in front of it. Because to be honest, this bell curve is going to happen against our will. So again, call to action. What consistently do you need to do to permanently change your identity so that you are either going to the gym, you're coding, you're designing, you're dropping something that's negative? So if you like these videos, definitely subscribe, leave your comments below. Would love to hear what your identity change is going to be because it's going to happen. Someone comes in and says, by the way, this is your diagnosis. And you got to live with that now. Diagnosis right now is happening every area of our lives. Financially, work-wise, health-wise, relationship-wise, family-wise, society is going to be totally different. Right behind me is New York City's Times Square. A lot of those people are not thinking about this. They're not. And a lot of it, and I'll leave it on this, is because they just want to come to New York City and enjoy to be distracted or entertained. They want to be distracted or entertained. We have the US Open going on right now. We have FIFA World Cup going on right now. The Knicks just won. They had their celebratory parade yesterday. Just distract me before I permanently have to change my identity. This is a call to action, really, because I was called to action like pretty heavily, and it's been hard. It's been hard. And I don't know about the money, and I haven't started marketing, and nobody knows about it except a select few online that are complete strangers. But right now is a call to arms for myself and to my brothers and sisters that it's going to happen with or without your actual permission. So if you like these videos, then definitely subscribe. Leave your comments below. We'd love to hear what you say about it and what your new identity is. Maybe it's losing weight, reading, praying, silence, humility, putting pride away, things like that. Stop saying that I'm the greatest, I'm the best. Maybe giving back, maybe giving money, maybe giving time, maybe being more positive, maybe listening better. It doesn't have to be a big grandiose thing of giving up drinking. I don't know if this is my permanent identity. I have no idea. Right now, it is. So have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video.